Oh, I want baby girl.
Don't baby girl me. How many of your groupies you call baby girl? Is Tisha a baby girl? Is Amanda a baby girl too? And who the hell is Bonquisha? Is that even a name?
Man, I can't
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Let's go. Welcome to Sharane World. Good morning. Welcome all my victims, my survivors, my thrivers, or anybody that just want to educate yourself. You already know we have to say, welcome all you narcissistic men and women out there in these streets, ladies and gentlemen. That's big round of applause to them out there in these streets. My viewers, my bushes on Facebook, if you haven't already, come on over to YouTube and information. That's all that matters, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sharane World. Let's get into this real quick. Let's go, everybody. Good morning. Everybody, as you know, I'm Sharane. I'm a peer mentor survivor for domestic violence and narcissistic abuse relationships. Okay, I always and everyone else, and I give someone else that voice to be able to come out and speak, whether they're male or female. Listen, good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday, and Sharane is here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. Yes, good morning, y'all. Whether you up, sleep, getting ready for work to do something productive, as long as you're not doing no street pharmacist activities, we okay over here, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Yes, whether you're a male or a female, get up, do something productive, go to the workplace. If you're on vacation, whatever you're doing for the day, as long as it's something productive and you're not stressing yourself out over no narcissistic male or female out in these streets. Or some domestic violence person out there in these streets too, ladies and gentlemen. So listen, it is Tuesday. Sharane had to come up here with this Tuesday awareness. So let's get into this real quick, ladies and gentlemen. So, Binghamton, if you are in the surrounding areas of Binghamton, make sure this Friday at 6 p.m. you check in with me on a WBDY 99.5 radio station, live Sharane World show, live on the radio, okay, at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, okay? And if you do not get that channel on the radio station, if you don't live in an area, you can always check out my Patreon. Okay, I will drop the video within 2 days or so, but you can definitely check out my Patreon and we can go from there, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Yeah, so after this, I will make sure I drop the link again. Go check out my community wall. If you haven't already, go check out my support group page. It is called Domestic Violence and Narcissistic Relationships I Survive. So make sure, you know, everyone goes check that page out and get the information that you need. Also, I do share my Patreon page up there. I share all my information up there. I share everything. My radio show, everything like that. Also, if you haven't already, make sure you go to the WBDY 99.5 right here in Binghamton. Make sure you go to their Facebook page, okay? If you go to their Facebook page, you can definitely find some more information up there that I post, my flyers. Also, if you go to the WBDY, okay, online website, you can definitely find me up there as a host and what I do, my show, and you can definitely find other hosts, up there as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into this. It is Tuesday, and you know them narcissists and them DV people, Mellow. male or female, is out there lurking in these streets, ladies and gentlemen. And Sharane World is up here early with the awareness. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're up here early. So let's go, Binghamton. If you are a victim of or anything of domestic violence in a narcissistic abuse relationship, please make sure that you get out there, reach out to these advocates, and you get the help that you need because there is help, there's counseling, there's all of that out here locally in the Binghamton area. Just pick up that phone, use the resources, even if you don't need to be in a DV shelter, even if your situation is not so bizarre, crazy, but you know you need that counseling, you know your situation is crazy, you know you're going through something DV, and you need some healing, please check out the RISE program, check out Crime Victim Services, check out Domestic Violence National Hotline number, and ask for a licensed domestic violence advocate. Okay. And they can help you out with counselors, or you can ask for a counselor. Listen, it's here. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, men, I do share some men awareness information as well. So if you haven't already, tune into my live radio show coming up this Friday at 6 p.m. Also, I did drop my Patreon. I did drop the video on my Patreon already from July 3rd at 6 p.m. on the WBDY 99.5 live. Okay, I dropped my show. Um, Sharane World. Listen, if you haven't already, check out my Patreon. Okay. Now let's get into this. If you are a victim or if you are actively in a domestic violence relationship, please get some help, educate yourself, understand to know what's going on. It's not healthy and things like that. And we want to see you come out of that situation alive, well, and moving on with your life and doing what you have to do and not being in that stuck position. And I totally understand everybody is not gonna, you know, um, uh, heal at the same time, and it's not gonna happen. It takes time to actually heal. It takes time to witness what's going on, understand what's going on, not just with that person, but also with yourself. Sometimes you have to take accountability and not saying that everything is your fault because what you're going through, ladies and gentlemen, being beat, gaslit, used, being controlled and things like that, being cheated on, having, these people having multiple supplies, them being lied to, and it's playing with your mental and, you know, being love bombed. You have to, stay strong out here, okay? You cannot, you just don't listen to what these narcissists and these DV people are telling you. So if they're telling you something wrong or whatever, it is not your fault, okay? Nobody said that, that you knew you were gonna go through some bad situation like that because that person may not have acted like that when you first met them. Okay, some people's situations take time to build up, and then later down the road, 2 years later, a year later, 3 years later, you're stuck in some crazy mess because in the beginning you didn't know, especially with a DV relationship. Those relationships are absolutely bizarre because that can be your husband, it could be your partner, and they're not cheating, they're not doing none of that, like narcissistic activities or whatever, but they are doing domestic stuff. Now they can cheat, but they're not doing narcissistic activities. Okay. Then I use multiple supplies, gaslighting people, and things like that, telling them all the same thing just to get what they want for their own personal gain and need. So dealing with domestic and things like that, it is real. But also, let's not forget when you're dealing with a narcissist, somebody that has narcissistic personality disorders, somebody that doesn't even go to the doctor to figure out that's what they have, and you're dealing with them, okay? You have to make sure you stay 10 steps ahead of these type of people. All right, because these narcissists, at the end of the day, there's no cure. There's nothing to it at the end of the day, and you don't want to be stuck in a love clown show. It is it's not cool how they operate out here, whether they're male or female. It is crazy. So, Binghamton, y'all need to get the awareness out here, okay? If you are dealing with any kind of situation, as a victim and you have order protections and they're bothering you, they're stalking you, they're popping up at your job, they're doing whatever it is that that person is doing that's making you feel very uncomfortable, okay? Please make sure you use the proper steps. So, you can reach out to your advocates, you can reach out to the courts, you can reach out to the, 911. You can reach out to people to get that help, okay? Because you have to put your foot down. All right. If you keep allowing a narcissist or a domestic violence person to keep trying to antagonize you and keep trying to get your, you know, let's say get you to react, because that's what they do. They like to get you to react. If you keep feeding into that, that's gonna just keep bringing you back into that show. And you don't want to be in a circus show, ladies and gentlemen. So please don't feed into these narcissists or these DV people. Put your foot down. Get about that situation. And here's another thing I told y'all in my last video before. So make sure y'all check them out. Okay? Make sure y'all check out my last video. I told y'all before. Do not tell these people, male or female, when you're walking out these situations. When you're ready to go, you go silent. I'm not going to go too deep into that, so make sure y'all check out my last video. You go silent. A lot of people are getting unalive behind these situations when they're telling these DV and these narcissists, male or female, that they want out the relationship. They get love bombed in, they get gaslit back in, or they get beat up back in, and it's not cool. And this is why, as survivors and thrivers and advocates out here in these streets and victims, we must speak up, especially when they're going through these courtroom doors and they keep going in and out with multiple different victims for the same thing, but different victims. That should not have to happen when they're going through these court doors. I feel like the courts should be looking at everything. How many victims you got? What's going on? Even if this is your first time, they should be nipping it at the butt right then and there. And like I said, it's not about helping the DV person or the narcissist or whatever. It's all about helping the victims and the survivors and the thrivers in the community stay safe because male or female, I personally feel like if you get charged with domestic violence, you need to be put on a registry list, especially in New York State, because everybody needs to know who you are. Like how many victims you got out here doing it. And I feel like also they need to become more hard and strict on people with domestic violence when they're coming through them doors. So whether they're helping them with counseling, therapy, mandating them to do those things. Okay, whether it's mental health, whatever it is, that first time they walk through that courtroom door, they they should be getting that help. Okay, and also the victims should be getting more extra help. Okay, not saying that there's no help out there, but we should be getting more extra help, like as far as like housing and things like that. You understand me? So listen, ladies and gentlemen. It's real out here in these streets, especially in Binghamton. There's a lot of narcissists lurking. It's the beginning of the week. They're probably trying to figure out who they trying to get what from their supply. They're trying to figure out what's gonna go, how they gonna do this, how they gonna pay car notes and how they gonna keep up with the car registration with one supply, how they gonna try to get this supply to buy something for them. They are out there lurking, whether they are a male or a female, and especially in Binghamton, they're out here in the surrounding areas, okay? And especially you dealing with my narcissistic ex, you most definitely in a domestic violence, narcissistic, toxic, probably got a order protection on that person, probably right now, and that's just what it is out here in the street, unhood. That is real, and that's what I noticed, and this is what I have to advocate for because it's real. My narcissistic ex has a lot of TPOs on him by different multiple females. You understand? And that's not cool. These judges have to pay attention to these things like that for anybody, male or female. You understand me? It is not cool out here that they go in them doors and they skate right on out and they coming back out in this world like they won. And it's not cool to the victims, survivors, or the families or anything like that. Because now they have to keep getting love bombed back in by these people. They tried to put their foot down, but they come back out here and listen, we have to spread awareness. So if you're a male and you're going through domestic violence or narcissistic abuse relationship, you don't put your hands on female. You're doing everything that you can. You're tired. You understand? They're trying to get a reaction out of you. Please stay strong and please, please make sure you save whatever evidence you got because it gets real out here dealing with these narcissists and they will continue to play victim. They will have you looking like a clown, but in all reality, they're talking about themselves out here in these streets, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Oh, absolutely. So whatever that DV or narcissist is telling you to make you feel bad, they talking about themselves out here in these streets, ladies and gentlemen. So if they popping up at your door, they doing all that wicked stuff, men, please speak up. I totally understand you don't like to deal with the police, you don't like to deal with this, you don't want to deal with that, but this is how these narcissists will continue to keep on going. You need to find a mediator that's gonna mediate things and that's not gonna look at both views and that's gonna be able, especially if you have kids, okay? If you know you have a toxic female or a toxic male, whichever way you want to put it, okay? And you have to do children exchange and stuff, please try to figure out who you can get to mediate those situations where that's not a person that's looking at both sides and picking sides. They're there for the child and they're making sure things get done. And if that person is trying to come out boundaries, that person is there to make sure that they're keeping the boundaries. And you can also have that set with the judges and family court. Trust me, you can. Especially if you don't want to deal with that toxic person, don't want to be around them, is always something. Yes, a lot of men go through this. Okay, and yes, they do. And there's some females out there that go through it too, but there's a lot of men that go through this with these narcissist, toxic females, especially the ones that don't put their hands on females. We ain't speaking about the ones that don't take care of their kids and like to beat women. No, we don't operate over here like that. We don't advocate for y'all, okay? So listen, ladies and gentlemen, the whole goal in Binghamton is getting awareness, all right? And I'm so happy that everybody is liking, sharing, commenting, giving me some very good encouragement, letting me know that Binghamton needs this awareness and keep bringing it. So I appreciate all of you guys that's coming from the WBDY 99.5 Facebook page, letting me know about it. I appreciate every last one of you. Yes, absolutely. And I appreciate all my viewers, all my subscribers, anybody on Facebook that's viewing and watching. I appreciate all my haters. I appreciate all them supplies. I appreciate the narcissists up out here in these streets too, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate the DV battle up out here in these streets, ladies and gentlemen. And them toxic relationships up out here in these streets, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes you got to keep it real with yourself when you're coming out these situations. Like I said, male or female, you can go through a domestic violence, toxic, whatever you went through. Okay, as long as you come out that situation, you heal and you educate yourself and you move on. Not being toxic and a narcissist, then you will be able to recognize these red flags and understand what's going on. So the main goal is to educate yourself, heal, and come out that clown sharp, ladies and gentlemen. And please don't put yourself in a DV situation again. Nobody deserves to get their hands put on them, no male or female. So if anybody, the first time that they play around and put their hands on you, you leave that relationship alone, ladies and gentlemen, okay? You leave that alone. You set boundaries. If they can't respect your boundaries, then you gotta go. And if they cars is registered to other females and stuff or other males, you gotta go. And I already told y'all, if it comes to that, you gotta check that glove box because that's where the registration has to stay in. And you seeing stuff like that, don't even feed into it. Why argue with them? Just go on about your business. You're setting yourself up for disaster when you're dealing with a domestic violence or narcissistic person, male or female. So I appreciate everybody, especially in Binghamton, because that's what goes on in Binghamton. Them parties, them clubs, them shingdings, everything is open. Everybody third eye was closed long time ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It was all closed. And at the end of the day, it's too much going on and too much going wrong out here in Binghamton. And everybody needs to come together no matter what lifestyle you come from. At the end of the day, it's all about how you healing out here in the streets. And I don't care what you got. I don't care what you look like. I don't care what's going on and going wrong with you out here in the streets. But when you come up out here, male or female, and you're speaking toxic, speaking very nasty out your mouth, you make yourself look bad out here in these streets. Okay? It doesn't matter what you got. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're in Binghamton, please make sure you get that information, that awareness, whatever it is. Also, make sure y'all check out my support group page. It is for domestic violence and narcissistic relationships I survive. If you haven't already, go to my bio and on my YouTube page and go to the bottom, and you will definitely find my Facebook page down there in the link. Also, check out my community wall. I do be posting up some stuff up there. I definitely post up my Patreon up there, so check that out. But if you haven't already, it's already on my support group page. If you want some stuff up there, I'll definitely post up my Patreon up there, so check that out. But if you haven't already, it's already on my support group page. If you're on my main page, because I'm recording to Facebook, it's up there. I ain't begging for you guys up there on my Facebook page to support. But at the end of the day, y'all all know y'all been through some domestic violence and narcissistic bad relationships at the end of the day. And let me tell you something, if you got something against domestic violence and narcissistic bad relationships at the end of the day, and let me tell you something, if you got something against domestic violence and a narcissistic abuse, it's all about the healing of that. To come out here and start healing and know what's going on and going wrong out here in these streets. So let's go. Welcome to Sharane World, everybody. It's Tuesday. Get that awareness. Don't be out here giving your money. Don't be registering no cars. Don't be trying to go no court for no DV, domestic violence people. Don't be dropping no order protections for no $3,000. Don't be doing none of that wicked stuff out here in these streets. Don't believe in y'all pads and these narcissistic, nasty people bathrooms. I got stories for days, awareness for days, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I've been spoke about this on my YouTube channel months ago. Go check out some other videos. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, men, pay attention to these women out here in these streets because it could be going wrong and it could be going wrong. Okay, they be having multiple supplies up out here in these streets. They're gonna tell you one thing and it's gonna be the next. Watch the friends that they keep at the end of the day. Sometimes that may not define who they are, but absolutely it can. Okay, so watch the company that they keep as well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, no matter who you are, domestic violence and narcissistic abuse has no gender. Okay, so you could be a male or female, no matter who you are, no matter what skin complexion you are. It's real out here and everybody feels the same pain. The whole goal about Sharane World coming up here and spreading awareness is to get you guys past that stuck victim part. You need to get up that hill, and I want you guys to try to get yourself out that victim part where you're sliding back down into the clown show. Ladies and gentlemen, at the top of that hill is the best. It's bright, okay? So please educate yourself, read upon what's going on with what situation you're dealing with, and you will understand when you start dealing with counselors. Ask questions, understand what you're feeling, and listen to these counselors express yourself, okay? And be real. Because when you start being real, you'll be able to break that generational curse and cycle that you have going on and going wrong. And it's not blaming you as a male or female, it's just helping you recognize those tools and sharpening you up to understand them red flags, okay? So you could be able to move on with your life, whether you want to date or not. But when you do go back into the dating world, you're gonna run across these little demons, these Jezebels, these 304s that think they on love and hip hop and baddies, male or female. But the whole goal is for you to recognize that flag and move on. Because there is gonna be somebody out there for you, whether you're a male or a female. It's all about healing. No matter how long it takes you, 6 months, a year, 2 years, just heal, recognize. Because what's a lot going on out here in Binghamton, a lot of these people went through these situations and they just came out very toxic and they thought that they healed, but they speak nasty out their mouth and they ain't healed. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sharane World. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I hope y'all stay blessed today. Listen, Friday, check us out on the WBB 9.5 radio station. Check out my radio show for Sharane World. I appreciate you guys at 6 p.m. Friday. Coming up, listen, my flyers are out there. My Patreon, all of that is on my flyers. So go check me out. It is there. And like I said, it's all about the awareness. And I appreciate you all. And if you are a victim of domestic violence, please make sure you reach out to the Domestic Violence National Hotline number. Okay, reach out, speak up, men, speak up. Appreciate you all. Have a blessed morning. Don't be giving your monies away, ladies and gentlemen, especially in Binghamton, because I know, baby begging. They stay begging for something. It's always something with them. It's a clown show with them. Always something. I'm quite sure y'all don't put them up with a lot of trash and they keep love bombing you and lying. But don't worry about it. When you educate yourself, you understand what's going on and going wrong up out here in these streets. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, stay focused out here in Binghamton and the surrounding areas. Because they out here in the pubs, bars, and shingles. And there's everything going on and going wrong out here. So let's go. Listen, if anybody's violating your order protection, make sure that you reach out to the proper authorities. Do not be out here antagonizing these narcissists. Don't be popping up at their house. When you see them out and about with these supplies, you screenshot and you move on. If they want to interact with you, this is what you do. You record instantly. Don't wait until you're in the middle of something. You gotta hit it, okay? So you can protect yourself and get out that situation, right? And don't look back. Don't feed into it. Go about your business because you already know what they were. Read up on it. Read about narcissistic personality disorder. Read about narcissists. I bet you understand male or female. And this is why they don't go sit in the counselor chair, ladies and gentlemen. And don't be out here dealing with no crackhead. Okay? Listen, let's get up on out of here. Y'all stay blessed for the morning and welcome to Sharane's World, everybody. Thank you.
You got a long way to go. Rock with me now.